Deion Sanders is the best example of that. He's like, there's Deion and there's prime time. See, so sometimes they're conscious of that. He's like, there's Deion, that's me, and then there's prime time. And then he would talk about prime time, literally as another thing. It's Deion talking about prime time, and it says prime time is the one who plays football. And he says, one time I went on an interview, and I didn't want to be prime time, and then we did the interview with some guy, and the guy didn't put it on TV because we don't want you, we want prime time. So prime time is the avatar that this guy uses or used to plug into the spirit of football in his respectful position and fulfill his function. So did Deion Sanders invent prime time, or is prime time a child of football? And it happened that so-called Deion Sanders had a key or a karma connection with prime time. It doesn't matter. It's food for thought. You can look at it, you can think about it. But prime time belongs to football. He's a saint of the football game, American football. Now, there's clearly a correlation between the person that's called Deion Sanders, prime time, and football. But what did we cheer for? Prime time. What's amazing? And he'll tell you it's prime time. He's got no shyness about this. So he understands the process at his own level, and he'll use his own language to say that. I'm bringing it, let's say I'm expanding on it a little bit, but the point is, that's how it works. And if Deion Sanders plays football, he sucks. It's prime time that plays football. And prime time has a specific way of walking, specific way of talking, specific way of fucking, specific way of playing the game, specific way of interacting with the players on the field, specific way of catching the ball, moving the ball. Everything about prime time is not Deion Sanders. So in order for Deion Sanders to become prime time, Deion Sanders has to go. So where does Deion Sanders go is another question. We can discuss this at another point. And then prime time enters, or prime time emerges. But one thing is for sure, it's prime time that flows in the game of football. It's prime time that has an understanding, an innate, inherent understanding of all the variables and the field of energy of the matrix of football. It's prime time because prime time is from that. So he knows where things are with his eyes closed because he is in that field. He lives in that field. And if prime time has a bad game, it's because Deion Sanders was in the way. Because prime time is the best cornerback ever. There's no question. That's prime time. He is a patron saint of football. That's what the Hall of Fame represents for me. What's the Hall of Fame? If we really genuinely take it as if it's just the elite and we remove the politics. These are the saints of the game.